Good afternoon and welcome to Kew Mid-Summer Fete, the 10th anniversary special apparently or something. It's all going on.
Welcome to another episode of Toby Stupid Vlog.
So it's fully bustling. This is our third summer fete of June, so we're doing quite well. This morning we've just done tidying and recycling and charity donating and all of that solidly for hours, so this is much better. Pretty much the most German thing I could find. It's an absolute masterpiece. Hello, happy Sunday. It is just gone midday. I'm going to walk into Richmond to meet Kristal, who's been at baby yoga this morning. Yesterday was fun. It was exhausting though. There's no two ways about it. Doing that much in terms of chucking out of things and then going into Kew Fete twice and then having the two boys running around and cooking a meal and all sorts. I mean, that took it out of me, if I'm honest. But today I'm going to use this little walk to bring myself back, and I might have a few more bits to do on the documentaries, so they are with me in my rucksack currently, as well as up in the cloud because I'm massively paranoid. And I probably get 3 finished today completely with changes, and then I'll be working through 4 tomorrow in the office, so that's all pretty good going, and then we'll see what state 5's in when I get there. The queue at the gates of the gardens is ridiculous. I mean, I know it's warm today. It doesn't look it, but it is. It's like 22, 23 degrees already. But yeah, people are really, really desperate to get into the gardens. Massive queue for tickets, massive queue for online pre-booked tickets, huge queue for members. Craziness. Anyway, I'm going to continue my walk via the gardens down to Richmond. I keep talking about this tennis documentary podcast series. If you are at all interested in tennis, Wimbledon in particular, and you want to listen to any of these episodes that are consecutively Althea Gibson, Billie Jean King, Borg McEnroe, Graf Becker and Andy Murray, then go onto the Wimbledon website. That's the first and easiest way of finding them. Secondarily, you can search for them on Audio Boom or on iTunes or any of the other podcast apps. It's called Join the Story, and it should have a little picture of a book in sort of Wimbledon logo colours, purple and green, and there should be 5 episodes there for you. I figure I might as well plug them, seeing as I'm doing so much work on them. If you're not interested in tennis, don't worry. I'm sure there's plenty of other things on the internet that will entertain you. That was a nice, if very short trip through the gardens. Good for centering yourself. Anyway, I've just got to walk down the road a bit now, which is slightly less fun. I can still go the scenic route though. Well, that was good for a few steps. Because now we're going to go and eat lots of Italian food for Kristal's mum's birthday. So I figured I need to do some exercise. Just need to find my car. Got to get used to looking for the new car. There it is. That's reassuring. Happy birthday to you. Good morning. It's Monday. That was quite an intense weekend, if I'm honest. I'm still sort of slightly drained. It was very good though. I mean, we got a lot of stuff done. Took masses of crap out of the flat. Started moving things around. Had my parents and Alex and Anna and the boys over for dinner. Saw Kristal's mum for her birthday yesterday, and a lot of baby prep. but it takes it out of you a bit, and I'm not even the one that's pregnant, so yeah, that was quite full on. Anyway, back to a week of tennis and podcasts. Right now it looks really grey and miserable, but it is very, very warm and about 99% humidity. It's insane. So I'm going to do a little walk and hopefully I was going to say I'll cool down, but I'm not going to. Hopefully I won't warm up too much. It keeps threatening to rain, but then the clouds aren't really that impressive, so who knows. I know it's early, but I just want to have a 30-second Brexit conversation, because it feels to me like everything that has happened up to this point has been entirely predictable and everyone else seems surprised, and so I thought I might as well put on record what I think is going to happen next, seeing as I seem to have quite a good track record at this point. So Boris Johnson is going to win the Conservative Party leadership, therefore he will be Prime Minister, but he'll be Prime Minister for a very, very short period of time, because he will lose enough of his own Conservative MPs such that he'll no longer command a majority. Quite what happens at that point is kind of hard to see. A general election or a realignment of the existing House, the two most likely options, but it's hard to know which one will happen because MPs like to vote for their own preservation. A good productive day. Podcast 3 done. Podcast 4 first mix done, so that will be finished first half of tomorrow, hopefully. And then podcast 5, as I mentioned, about Andy Murray. I'm not going to see that until Wednesday, but it'll be a problem then, but it isn't until then. So because the weather's about to turn, I'm going home. Tomorrow I'm going to stay at home as it pours with rain. And I'm going to stare at screens with Adobe Audition and little wave files bouncing up and down. Good afternoon. So I'm just finishing up the 4th podcast in its entirety and doing a travel podcast and reading a load of board papers. That's what's up today. It was supposed to be very wet. It stopped being very wet at about 9 a.m. It's now just really hot and humid and grey and weird. So I'm going to have lunch, listen to the cricket and ponder my future endeavours. The weather's ridiculous. It looks miserable. And it is sweltering. It feels like it should do just before there's a massive storm, not after there's been one. It is so hot and humid. It's crazy. It's like tropical. That's the best way of describing it. Very odd weather. And I made a terrible mistake this morning, because I got up and I thought, oh, it's going to be a bit hit and miss today, so I'll put jeans on. Awful decision. Regretting heavily. This is helping recharging my batteries. Also, I'm just following a squirrel. Dude, are you really using the path? I mean, don't get me wrong, you're free to. It just seems silly if you don't like people. Okay, laters. Yeah, it's like I'm sort of solar powered. I mean, it's almost more tree powered, but yeah, going out and listening to and smelling and watching nature is very centering, especially when you've been on a very intense task that involves staring at a screen. So this has been very helpful. Even if I have been here reading board papers, it's still been helpful. As you can see, it's busy in this part. This is why I've come here to read some papers, and the foxgloves are amazing. I'm going to continue my figure 8 walk, find another bench and read some more papers. It's gone 5 o'clock, so I've got to head back soon, but this has been a very productive day from my perspective at least. Hello, afternoon. It's a Wednesday and I've totally lost track of time and days of the week because it's just been tennis, and it sent me a bit loopy. But the good news is we're on the home straight. I've started on the final episode, the Andy Murray one, everybody's least favourite, and it'll be done by this time tomorrow, because it'll have to be, because I've got to go to a board meeting. Speaking of which, I finished my board papers and finished second episode of Escape with Simon Calder, which is a podcast I'm doing with WebVid. And I've done some dismantling of more things in what will be the baby room, the old TV room. There's literally just dismantled tables in there and a baby changing table now. And I'm off to Pools on the Park to meet Kristal, who's coming back from a work day on a boat, rather surreal, and we're going to go swimming. Now the only thing is, it could be a little bit busy because it's a nice day and the kids are out of school because it's 4:45, so that is a risk. But also the outdoor pool's open and they'll probably want to be in that, so that helps. But I'm trying to remember the last time I actually went for a swim, because I think it might be in America, in Huntsville, Alabama. And Huntsville was that was 8 months ago, more than, which is alarming. And I keep thinking, well, I've been on all these trips since, I must have gone for a swim. Didn't go for a swim in Seville, didn't go for a swim in DC, didn't go for a swim in Madrid, didn't go for a swim on either of our trips to the Cotswolds. So I think that is the last time I went for a swim, which is very alarming. So let's hope I get to rectify that. Good morning. So it is my last day going into the Chiswick office, and it's my last day on this tennis podcast, most likely, although there might be some changes tomorrow morning early. And by the end of the day, we'll have made all 5 programmes, so hooray for that. But tomorrow is another podcast day regardless, only it is travel. I don't get such an exciting walk, although I do, to be fair, I did get to walk all the way along there and all the way there down to the old brewery, so it's not terrible. It's a very lovely day, as you can see, and it's a bit cool at the moment, but you can feel that that's not going to last very long. We went swimming yesterday, it was good. I can feel the muscles I used, so that is a sign that I genuinely haven't swum since last October, so that's not good. But it was nice, and then we went for a meal. So all the good work in the swimming we undid with a really nice Nepalese curry. What can you do? It's a step in the right direction, but maybe half a step, let's say. So a couple of apologies. First of all, how ridiculously late all these vlogs have been. It's terrible. I'm bored of apologising about it, but these ones are really bad. So there we go. And also, if somebody had done the word count to the word podcast, it probably would have hit about 4 million by now, so sorry about that. But when that's all you're doing, sort of morning, noon and night, it's kind of all consuming. So that is the case, but it'll all be done by this weekend, and then new vlog will start with an exciting walk along the Thames from Culham, where we got to last time, in the pouring rain and snow. But I wasn't filming by that point because my hands were too cold to leave my pockets, and it's going to be 29 degrees this time, so it's going to be about a 30-degree temperature differential. But I'll start from there. We're going to go round most of the way to Oxford, which is nuts. I'll see if I can find when we first started this walk in a mo. Evening. I'm in Teddington, just had a Chair's liaison meeting, and then Co-op Homes board meeting, and 3.5 hours later I'm going home. It's still light, which is lucky because it's like 9:15 nearly, but I've still got quite a lot of Andy Murray to do. I've got to go through 25 minutes for levels, and then I've got to start doing changes. Honestly, if I'm all done at midnight, I'll be really pleased. Hello, it's Friday evening and I'm just on my way home, and I'm so happy it's Friday evening. There's the last 24 hours on this Andy Murray episode has been an episode, a not very enjoyable one, because it's been all very rushed and last minute, and and lots and lots and lots of changes, and it still hasn't gone up, and it's like 7 o'clock at night. Whatever. Other people involved are more concerned than I am, because, you know, they put in a lot of work to make this show. But my feeling on the matter is I've done my job and I'm happy with what I made, and as long as they pay me, whatever. And you might think, well, that's not really the attitude to have. It's a creative project, but you know, it's at some point you have to distance yourself from the thing you make, and especially when you're making it for someone else, and just say, you know, it's your choice. Do with it whatever you will. Just pay me, because as long as you get compensated for your time, it was worth doing. You can enjoy the process. You don't need to worry about the outcome. This week has just been podcast, tennis. And if you had a sweepstake on how many times I was going to say those, I've probably just messed up your podcast tennis numbers. But it's done, and I'm very happy. And I will come up with a word of the week momentarily. Still don't have the answer to when we started the walk. Maybe we might be able to ascertain that in the next vlog, when I see Steve and Tom by the Thames. Okay, final sign off. Let's do the word of the week. Word of the week this week is the verb to broadcast, because that's what I'm making, programs for broadcast, which is a pleasant change in some ways. Bitterly broadcast on Tinternet, but still broadcast nonetheless. First of all, in German, broadcast is übertragen. Übertragen, that is the verb to broadcast. And in Italian, it is trasmettere. Trasmettere. That is broadcast in Italian. So there we go. That is broadcast, the verb in German and Italian. And that is this week's word of the week. It's a beautiful evening light. I'm about to get home. Gonna have an early night. Sleep for a long time, because we have a long walk tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe buttons and bells, etc. require your clicking. Thank you and good night.